Man,
Yeah.
I'm really glad to join.
Yes. Now Natasha will have the audio on.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another very excitingly different session of Book It Up. Here we are today. We've all gathered here today for the book launch of our anthology called Dancing Gold Flecks. And we are so excited to have with us Jayanti Shankar. She has been a driving force behind this anthology, and I would like to invite Jayanti to say a few words about the anthology, how it came about. Jayanti?
Okay. Publishers are supposed to be, talking first as per plan, but since they are not able to come attend the meeting, I'll say a few words. But for their support, this anthology is, it's just a dream. So it's come true only because of Zero Degree Publishers, and their trust in me. I'm really fortunate for that. And I can't thank them enough, ever, for the support they have been giving. And this volume that you're holding, some of you are holding, wouldn't have been possible if not for their support. And anyone can aspire, dream, or work hard, but only with such a support can something really, can happen in reality, right? My all-time belief is in building a community through literature has gained a fresh hope with this launch, with this book I'm yet to touch. Every such volume gives me an opportunity to interact with many different kinds of writers, and the insights into their experiences are incredible, vast and profound. And my heartiest congratulations to all the contributors and friends, aspirants, and grateful to you for having walked with me. I hope you're all inspired and motivated to pursue writing without any, doubts or gaps. I'm sure you're all going to. All of you have been writing anyways. This is just one crossing road for you all. So we will cross roads more often from now on. And my sincere thanks to Natasha and the book, for launching, helping me in this, moderating this launching event, and Book It Up for, doing it, happy, make it happen. And Aparna and Natasha have been great support in this, and Vidya Murlidhar has been hosting. She came forward immediately when I asked for help, and I appreciate that. And Surabhi has also been a support in one way or the other. Thank you very much. Let's launch it, unwrap the book, and we'll talk. All of us can take a few minutes to share all our experiences. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jayanti. That was so beautiful. As writing, they always say is a very it's a very lonely process. And when one finds your tribe and one finds people who think like you, who are like you in their own ways, it's sort of it takes away the loneliness chip by chip. So it's always great to have our friends around us. We have our book here,
and it's formally launched today. Natasha is unwrapping the book. You all can hold the copy. I don't even have the, proof copy with me. It's okay. There it goes.
This is hurting my, middle class mentalities. But here we go.
It's okay. Yeah. So Dancing Gold Flecks are launched now. So
Shall we all of us hold our copies?
Yeah.
And Natasha, I wanted to ask you, what did you
okay.
feel about the book making
जैसे आप लोग
messages,
वैसे।
the paper, the cover?
It was very impressive, and I'll tell you
कौन
why.
इन्होंने जैसे आते हो ना?
Because I actually have, I have a vision problem, so I usually find it very difficult to read, hard copy, hardbound books. But here I had, the printing is very clear, it is very well spaced, and the paper quality is really very fine. And I enjoy it. It was very comfortable for me to read, because what happens is, in most cases, is that some of the publishers do reduce the cost, kind of cram all the words together. But that's not the case here. So I find it very easy.
I fight, Natasha. I fight with them for, this is the font I will want. You cannot have any other one. It should be reader friendly. And these are the things I insist. Those things, whatever is going behind this bookmaking is not known to any one of us, right? So I do that. This is what I want. This spacing is a must. So I keep insisting, and I'm not surprised because I've seen their work, the book. I just wanted to know your opinion. So we can go on. Thank you.
So I think all of us can hold up our books and take a photograph, screenshot rather at least. Yeah, cool. There it is. Vidya, are you taking a screenshot or should I take one? Yeah, got it. So nice. I wanted to actually hear from each one of you about what has been your journey, something about the book, something about the editing process, something about how you like to write. Surabhi, can we start with you?
Hi, thanks, Natasha. Hi, everyone. Hi, Jayanti. So nice to see everybody. Congratulations to all of us, and thanks to Jayanti and Zero Degree Publishing, this has been possible. So I'm really excited today. I'm joining from Charlotte, North Carolina, so it's like not even 7 in the morning. But thank you for arranging this to work with my schedule as well. This has been a great experience. It's my first story published in print. I have a lot of stuff online, but this officially, now I'm officially published in this anthology. I like the topic instantly because transition is something like all of us, are going through at some point in some way, tangible, intangible ways. So it was a topic very close to my heart, especially because now I am an immigrant. My stories are seen from a different lens right now. I see people with a different lens, and this collection helped me to bring that out very nicely. So I just stop there so I can give everybody else a chance to speak as well. But thank you, Jayanti. Thank you, everybody, for being part of this.
I think Devika hasn't joined yet. So I think Sredhanea would like to go next.
Sure, I can go next. Yeah. Thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Jayanti, ma'am. I mean, this would not have been possible, not because just because of Zero Degree, but also because the trust they have in Jayanti. Because they know us, they know only her, and because of the trust they have on her, has this become possible. And I'm very happy, and I congratulate all of you for having contributed to this, and for having written something, and for having taken that time and the energy to put in the effort. One more thing I would request all of us to do for each other through this is that write a review of each other's stories so that we can put them online and promote this book a little further for the next 2-3 weeks at least. So we could do this, and I wanted to talk like a line or two about my stories and the journey that it took me to reach, like to write those 2 stories. When Jayanti had told me the theme of the thing was of the anthology was adapting to changes, to me 2 things came to mind. Most of us think when we say adapting to changes, it is the changes within ourselves or in our lives. there is another perspective to changes, that the changes of the people around us also affects us a lot. We don't just adapt to the changes in ourselves, we also adapt to the changes in them. That's the reason that I had contributed two short stories, one about the changes in the person itself and another affecting the changes of another person, which is affecting whoever is narrating the story. So I think for me, when you say change, adapting to change doesn't mean that you will have to change. Staying the same through the change is still adapting to the change. So for me, like the different perspectives of change is what impressed me, and it basically it was influencing me to write two stories. And one of my stories, I'm happy that that story's name was picked up for the name of the anthology itself. The story that I written is called Dancing Gold Flecks. And for some reason, I don't know, like, and it comes on the word, like, and that line comes in a very, it's very hidden even in the story. It took me because I'm the type of person who starts with the heading of the story and then goes to the story. The heading is the one that always comes to me, but this time I had never named the story. I wrote the short story and I sent it to Miss Jayanti and I told her, can you just pick a name for the story? Just pick a name, whatever you think is right for the short story, you pick that name. She picked that name and she gave it to my story and she thought, like, I think this will work the best for the book also. So I was very happy, and I am happy that she picked Dancing Gold Flecks as the name of the story. And the other story I have written in this is called 27. Like I said, Dancing Gold Flecks is the story of the narrator adapting to the changes of another character, and 27 is how a person adapts to the change in their own life. So I'm very curious, and I'm eager to read all your stories, and I'm right now in the middle of a house shift and the career shift. So I will definitely try in the next month to read at least like one story a week and post reviews for each one of you. Even if you have contributed 2-3 stories each, I will start with one story with each, that I can cover all the contributors. I would request all of you also to, help each other in that way and, start doing things. And I'm so grateful that all of you guys are doing reels and, you have been promoting this book. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you.
Coming to Dancing Gold Flecks, like she said, it just comes as a, very unimportant place, just a flash. But for me, I felt it poetic. I felt those phrases poetic even in that story itself, even though she wrote it brushingly, but I felt it was poetic, and I wanted something abstract like that for even for the upcoming anthology. I was keen on taking the first title I thought of. I stick to that. So similarly for Dancing Gold Flecks, I thought it was poetic and abstract. I chose that. Good, and I'm happy, Danya, you're going to read it, and I'm sure she will really do it and do it separately, each story, each review. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayanti. In fact, I've actually read 2 stories already. I read Vidya's story, and Vidya is a beautiful story. It's just so beautiful. And I read
my favorite. It's
absolutely.
It's a beautiful poetic, and I sequenced it as the first in the book.
It deserves.
I just love it.
It's a beautiful story. I also read Megha's story. It has its humor. It has its subtle, points that come across. I think the leather footwear, something on those lines. It was so interesting. Yeah, the leather footwear. I really enjoyed it. Then of course, I just started Dancing Gold Flecks. So review on that a little late. I'm sorry. So Vidya, I want to know from you, how did you I mean, how did you conceive the whole idea? You know, how has it come out? You know, it's come out so it's like poetry in motion.
Thank you, Natasha. Thank you so much. I mean, a lot of me, I mean, not just me, but a lot of my friends, we are in this phase where our kids have just left home. We are transitioning. So, you know, you pick and choose from people from real life. You know, I also moved, like my husband and I sold our house and we moved. A lot of my friends are following suit because once the kids leave, you know, you don't need such a big house anymore. So it started from there, from that experience. But then I wanted to bring the strength of a woman out, because I think we underestimate that so much, because throughout transitions, I think women are the ones who hold the family together, you know. So that was the intention of bringing the strength out, because I think so that's how it came to me. Thank you so much, though. Like, makes me so happy.
You can continue to express your, I mean, take it as your opportunity to express, and you can continue, Vidya.
I mean, yeah, thank you so much, Jayanti. First of all, it's so nice to be here with so many people. I haven't had a chance to read the book yet because it's with my parents in India. So hopefully they'll be sending it to me soon. So I'm really eagerly looking forward, because it's a topic, as Surabhi said, you know, we're constantly, especially after the pandemic, I think, so many transitions for everyone. So, you know, changes, adapting to those changes has become such a big part of our life now. So I think the topic was, at that minute, I think it felt something like I have to write something on this. So thank you, Jayanti, for coming up with this theme. And thank you for being so generous with your time, you know, editing and giving us all a platform. That is remarkable, Jayanti. I mean, thank you so much, because as you know, all of us as writers know that the support we get from each other is because so many times in the writing process, you just want to give up, because it's like, do I really need to do this? Do I really need to write about this? Who's going to read it? But thank you, Jayanti, for taking the time, for giving us all the opportunity to do this. And also, of course, Zero Degree Publishing. I'm very excited. I mean, anthologies always interest me because the same theme has so many flavors, right? You get to read about everybody, and I think you also get an insight into each person's thinking. You begin to feel that you know the person through the writing. So yeah, it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with all of you. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Vidya. Generous with time, I'm known for that. At times thought of as a fool. I don't care. I'll be what I am.
I love
if it takes, yes. Because through literature, we can build communities. Yeah. Supporting each other is one. And that's where it begins, right? Building a community. And this anthology by itself is creating. And upcoming, another one is coming. Another anthology is in the making. Very soon I'll be proofreading. And many of the contributors here are going to contribute there also, right? And together it's a big community. I'm very happy to see that. And thank you. Thank you.
You know what we say about Jayanti is not enough. You know, she's I interacted with her and I sent her a couple of my stories, and you know, she gives you such detailed and you know, insightful feedback, and she raises points that one has, you know, never thought about or, you know, contemplated. And you know, and for me, this is a small community, so not many of our mentors would, you know, they would want to talk about their trade, because you know, in the end we're all in the same pool. But you know, Jayanti is someone who's so willing to share, you know, her, you know, whatever insights she has. And for me, I think that is the most important and graceful part about her. And I really, I mean, I hold you in the highest of regards.
Thank you, humbled, Natasha. Thank you.
I would like to ask, Subhashini, I haven't got to your story, but do you think that, you know, how has your journey been so far? And, you know, and how did you sort of get onto the idea about, you know, writing your story?
Thank you, Natasha, and thank you, Jayanti, for the opportunity. So I am dialing in from London, so another time zone added to this beautiful community. And I have a very different take on adapting to change, because I know Jayanti sent in the whole that she's, collecting stories and way back. And I was dreading it because nothing was coming to me. I feel like we are so caught up in change all the time that we don't have the time to reflect. And there were so many story ideas. And suddenly when I saw the deadline of September 1st, nothing, absolutely nothing came to me. So, but there was an incident in our life with the driver we had employed during COVID times and the struggles he had. And that always was at the back of my mind, that I wanted to share about his story, how he adapted to the whole, aspect of possibly losing a job, how other drivers in his community had to deal with it. And somehow it was at the back of my mind, and the story finally came to me on September 1st was the deadline, and August 29th is when I wrote it. And I just took 24 hours, to let it sit, try to edit it myself, and sent it to Jayanti thinking, oh God, it's probably my worst first draft. But I'm so glad that she liked the story. And I think her first response was, what a surprise that, I get this story from you, because it was surprising to me also that it came. But to me, change is such a constant that this allowed me as a writer to reflect on what our roles are as female versus male, or employer versus employee, mother versus father. And I just took that opportunity to put it in the story of the two characters, and my story is titled Twisted Mustache. So yeah, that is what is behind the short story. And short stories holds a very special space in my heart. I feel like Vidya was mentioning, it gives you that perspective in a few pages to just pour your heart out, and you can really get a sense of the character, the writer, and it is definitely a way to break reader's block and writer's block, like I experienced. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Jayanti, and looking forward to reading all your stories once I get the copy from my brother, who's shared his unwrapping video already, and he's read a few stories and he's very impressed. So thank you all again.
Thank you, Subhashini. Actually, 27 stories, I think, and 18 contributors. I rejected a few, and 2-3 of them sent me again another draft and all. It was the most difficult part to reject. I think any text can be, improved, edit, discuss, make changes, maybe rewrite, but it wasn't there. The draft didn't have that scope, and I had to reject, and that was the most difficult part of this journey for me. Generally, rejecting is not in me, and but we need to keep some quality in the volume, and it was inevitable. But I went on, motivating them and asking them to send for the next volume if they can give, or and even then it didn't, for them it didn't work. I hope there will be a third volume where they can write. I feel so sorry for those rejected writers. Anyways, this is just a piece of information. Thank you.
And there, Jayanti, there lies in, your humbleness and, your ability to empathize, with the rejections that, as an author, we all receive. And, it's usually people just send you an email that says, I'm sorry, your work was not selected. And, one receives a lot of them, but, each time there's a little prick that goes, like, it goes into your heart, but, to get some response from someone who says, you keep sort of
whoever I rejected, I called them. And I talked about their text to them, what they can do and those things. Later, I said, this will not suit my volume. But if you can rewrite and send, I'm ready to consider. And I don't mind about the deadline and all. I can still accommodate and all. But I couldn't take, even after they rewrote. I mean, it was not even rewritten. It was just a little improvement, which I didn't expect. I wanted them to rewrite, completely rewrite. In fact, I told them to start their story near the ending, so that it's, that was the one thing I went on telling. It didn't happen, and I still feel very, very sad. Anyways.
Such is life, but that just shows your willingness to go back to someone and to help them out to sort of better their craft. Can we have Sandeep? Sandeep, can you just tell us about your journey, how you came about with your story?
Yeah, sure, Natasha. Natasha, I would not so much want to go to about the journey of my story as I would go about the journey of contributing to this anthology and being a part of this whole experience. For that, I mean, the way I would want to go about it is I would want to rebut Jayanti ma'am's initial introduction, where she says that it is all thanks to the 0 degree publishing guys. I absolutely agree with Jayanti ma'am that yes, it is the kind of lever, we could say, which transforms dreams into reality. But in the first place, there has to be a dreamer. There has to be someone who has seen the dream and who's actually willing to push that dream into that lever. And that, Jayanti ma'am, is you. I have, Natasha ji, I have been part of probably 4 anthologies before this. In no anthology have I come across one person who has put in maybe even 1/10 of the effort that Jayanti ma'am has been putting into this. From the kind of effort that she just puts into just going through each draft, reworking, and then back and forth over every small thing, and patiently going back and forth. I mean, see, coming from a perspective where it is very easy for me to tell someone, boss, hello, you're doing this wrong. But then the other person, being an idiot, or maybe whatever you want to call him, coming back and saying, no, this is not wrong. This is how I see it is, and this is what it is supposed to be. Jayanti ma'am, I hope you remember that. I had a lot of that with you on the mails. Anyway, and every time she would not come back once and say, oh no, sorry, hello, you are wrong. Please sit and listen. No. She would typically patiently say, okay, you're right, maybe, but this looks better. And that is a very, very, very heartwarming way of dealing with the thing. And the whole experience has been, I mean, it's been a completely different experience for this anthology, as I said earlier, compared to my earlier efforts. And thank you very much, India. I have nothing else to add. I just want to thank you once again. That's all.
Thank you, Sandeep. Thanks for expressing that about that discussion we had. Every story I had that kind of an experience, almost every story. But yes, patience, he said about patience. And in my family and my extended families, patience is synonymous to Jayanti. That's what my niece always says. When she talks and plays with her dad, she would say, she's Vidya also. She Sri Vidya, and she will say, they play and they think of a word, and they will beat around the word. They will not say the word, but the person has to say, right? That's a game. When we went to Shimla that time when we were traveling, she used to play that. She will say, Dad, this is very easy for you. Ate has loads and loads of it, and I have not even little bit of it. And he knew expressions.
I agree with everything that Sandeep has said. when Jayanti first shared her, she sends you an email with her, in yellow, where she's written, how she goes through each, each word, and she takes a printout and then she sort of compares it with the written with the online one, and I was so amazed. I was like, wow, I would not do this for my own work. I need to have someone doing this with such, in painstakingly way to go through each and every word to figure out what's wrong, what's not, and then have layers and layers of timelines over and again. It's amazing, and it sort of it speaks about your dedication to your craft. So it's a big thank you from all of us.
Thank you, Natasha. Let's call someone else.
Yeah, let's. Yeah, Arun, would you like to share a little bit about?
I think Arun. He said he wasn't interested in talking. Maybe we can call Raghuram or Aparna.
Okay. Ladies first, or shall we flip it? Let's have Raghuram first.
Namaste. See, this is one of a very beautiful meeting. I am meeting almost every one of you for the first time. Yeah. And the best thing about this anthology is that we are getting story from different people, from the different land, from different style and different background. Actually, there is an element of risk in publishing this type of story. If the writing style differs too drastically, there is a risk that the reader might reject this one. In this sense, our editor Jayanti Shankar has done an excellent, remarkable job that makes this entire book go very smoothly and fluently. So far, I have read about some 13 stories. Nowhere I could believe that the stories are from different people. Only the content, the nature of the story, the land of the story differs. But the language has been very, very beautiful. Full credit goes to Jayanti Shankar. Sorry, Natasha, you seem to be telling something, but your mic is on mute.
Natasha is not telling anything. You continue, please.
Okay, good. Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed whatever the stories I have read so far. And when it started with Red Brick House, and one sentence it sends a ripple through my foundation. That is one of the beautiful sentences, because most of the story is actually spoken by a living creature. Here, some non-living creature, seeing everything from morning to dusk, on every happiness, the bond, the sorrow, the too much of fight. Only walls can give that exact expression of one family and between the couples. One. So it has set the tone for this entire book, and basically it was very cute and poetic, very short story. Immediately it warmed up, something like playing first 2 balls with some singles and then get it settled for a longer innings. So thank you very much, Murlidhar, for setting up the tone for this entire book. And the leather footwear, still I am able to see in front of me the table of that doctor. He beautifully explained how it is messed up with so many things. Actually, it is a brutal fact that so many doctors, without learning anything about medicine or treatment, simply that pulling that syringe to some other patient is happening. But instead of making fear in that reader, he brought us a joy. Only thing is that, and if Ajay motivation was not established in that area, the end would have been more thorough and Ajay motivation got established a little area. And the dancing gold plus Sredhanea, and when you are bringing so many soils from too many lands and then soils like this one, and it gives a lot of information how you have fascinated this story. And I want to read this once more because I read it in between two train stops inside the metro. I will elaborate it with a more detailed review later. And the violin puppet, the firefly, first thing, just narration and beauty. I loved it very well. Within one some square, everything has been explained very easily. The language was beautiful, wordings were beautiful. There were so many richness in sentences, but it is not something like artificially inserted in any sentence. I enjoyed it thoroughly. And the next one I thoroughly enjoyed is this is one of the best thing about this anthology. Few people are writing for the first time, but few people are very experienced and well-known writers. Both have been provided in a same platform. For the freshers also, the story is so sound, so that very experienced people like Varal Vesta, the final line, actually the story starts with the music, that raindrop making the drums on leaves and then on umbrella, actually it makes that music in our mind. It kept guessing that because he has very beautifully explained that actual problem that involves a father and then a political party, and definitely there cannot be a solution to this problem. It kept telling me that how the story is going to end. But very beautifully, the title of the story coming as that last paragraph is one of that vintage finish. I thoroughly enjoyed this story. And Sanctuary, I really want to go to London and learn English from that teacher by sitting with so many people, refugees from so many lands. Definitely, this will be a fantastic experience to meet a different kind of people. Actually, in another way, it is a pain. These people have lost land, mothers, everything they have left. The final line speaks everything about that sorrow and pain of every people coming as a refugee to this one. But in India, only from Sri Lanka refugees can come because our land is totally surrounded by ocean. But when it comes to UK has bombed too many nations, and now people are coming to that nation for some salvage and life. It is an actually turning as a painful land, but in a different style. By making that reader lightly, he made it to understand reality of that brutal threat. And that's a fantastic one. And just now I finished about Surabhi. The best thing is I want to go to that bench to eat that sweet. So beautifully, two mothers talking in UK, and he has established a lot and all that. This is a quick review. I got it as a feeling for that entire book. I will read it one after another and then come back with a very detailed review on this one. Full credit to Jain Krishankar, and many thanks and greetings to all of you. It is a pleasure. I also to take part with two more stories. We will meet again. Thanks a lot. Thank you for all of your appreciation, cooperation, giving us a platform. Namaste.
Thank you, Raghuram, for taking time to read and going through each one of the story so well. You said about language, and you said it's uniform. The credit goes to Jain Krishankar. I'm sorry I have to differ there because each story is written by that writer and the language is hers or his. I never touched the language. In fact, I edited so carefully not to touch the content nor the language. Bits and pieces to improve, that's all. Therefore, if there is a language uniformity, then it's a coincidence. Thank you.
Actually, it would not be in
The
coincidence.
one best thing about Jayanti Sanchar is that the fantastic encouragement, not by eliminating even a single paragraph from your writing style. Usually, when editors perform this one, probably they will change or suggest to change that entire storyline itself. But in my editing, I have seen that you have not even changed one single paragraph. He just started how to make it more beautiful and more appealing. This one. After few touches and edits, the storyline totally looks in a different color and then different view. So that is one of the biggest support Jayanti has provided to me.
Yeah, being a fan of fiction, reading and writing, I can say editing a fiction requires special skill, or even editing a text of fiction requires empathy. The person has written based on empathy, yes. But when a editor edits a fiction, she has to become that writer, not the writer that she is. I believe so. And that's why I don't touch. And I love improving the text so much that they will think, oh, it is really improved. Oh, the title is so nice this time when you say it. And when I change the paragraph sequence, it reads better now. I'm very happy. So when they are so happy, I get that satisfaction, and it's a joy that it's incomparable joy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raghuram, for the lovely reviews. What is a writer without their reviews? Aparna, do you want to say something about your story?
Natasha, I think Monica has a question. She has raised her hand.
Yeah, she's raised her hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to take questions?
Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Monica, and I just want to say congratulations. But more importantly, just to add to what Jayanti was saying, as a fellow editor, I think it's a very tough job to kind of take all the different voices and leave them be as they are, and not kind of impose your own narrative style onto other people's narrative style. And that's a very difficult job, because normal tendency wahi hota hai ki, the way we write, we think that we are correct. So that's a very tough job, and I think Jayanti has done a fabulous job in that. So just wanted to add that to keep an author's voice intact is something that an editor must know how to do, and Jayanti has done that really, really well. So yeah, kudos to her.
I forget who I am. I take ownership of the text, of course, to improve it. At the same time, I forget that I'm a writer or I'm a reader. I will think the way she has thought or he has thought. And I think that is very important for editing fiction. Thank you, Monica.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes.
Thanks, Monica. Moving on to Dr. Aparna.
Thank you, Natasha. Myself, Aparna, let's keep it very simple. It's Aparna. So I have written a story called Cuckoo's Nest in this particular anthology. And right now, as we were speaking about the editing skills, so let me share a small, my personal experience with Jayanti ma'am is that when she edited, she went through the story and she sent me a copy saying, Aparna, go through. So I said, ma'am, you must have done the best that is possible, because anyways it is like the editor does the best for you. So I said, ma'am, it must be the best, you must have done it. So she said, nothing doing, you must see the story, you must. So I saw that there were some commas that she had added, and then she said, yeah, Aparna, though I am adding these commas, I really don't know where you want the reader to pause. Okay, so forget about the content, she was so conscious about adding those commas as well. And as my good friend Natasha and Monica always, admonish me on not using enough of commas in my writing, they always tell me, Aparna, comma is your best friend. So Jayanti ma'am added them, and there I realized, and when I read that whole piece again, I could see that where the reader could pause, reflect. So the importance of comma was something that Jayanti ma'am emphasized. And I told her, no, you go through it, whatever you're doing is the best. Okay. So she said, no. She was very firm, very strict with me, saying that, and I could actually imagine her with this kind of strict, scale kind of thing. No, you got to do it kind of stuff. So go and see your copy once again. And if there's anything, you get back to me. So I, like an obedient student, I went back to the copy. I read it again and I saw what differences there were. I went back to my main copy. And then she asked me, Aparna, now do you think we should change the title to make it a little more dramatic? So that the title. So I realized the importance of a short story, because you don't have volumes to speak in a short story. And if somebody is going to read that story, the title has to be very, very catchy. You have that little space to attract the reader. So then we worked on another title, and the final title that you see is The Cuckoo's Nest. So as we know that the cuckoo does not have a nest, but I hope you all will read and find out what happens when a cuckoo does have a nest. Through it's a metaphor that I have used for human relationships. So thank you so much. Thank you, Natasha, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Jayanti ma'am, for giving me space. Thank you all the beautiful writers, amongst whom I could make a little world of myself in that story. Vidya, I'm sorry I have not read your story, but I know it is going to be wonderful, because having known Vidya's, I have read Vidya's blog. I've been with Vidya, we have been friends for 2.5 years now. We have met once, and it was a very, very warm experience. Another friend whom I would like to thank on this platform is Surabhi. She was the one who introduced me to Jayanti ma'am, so that I could host her on Book It Up. So Surabhi, thank you for being the Cupid, and you have connected two souls who love literature. Thank you, Vidya. That heart one for you. Thank you, Natasha. Over to you.
Thank you, Aparna. Aparna's story was those. It took me to those Enid Blyton, or was that Famous Five, and those kind of England. And her narration was also like that. The story, the names of the characters, everything. Anyone who reads would probably think someone who has born and brought up in London has written that. I thought she's so much influenced by her, younger days, those Famous Five, this, that, and all. And that's what I felt. And her original title was giving away the story. So that's the point I made there, and she instantly understood and accepted. Story is short story is so small; it's not even a novel, right? Even in that, if you're going to give away in the title, then the fun goes. Whoever is going to read. So now, after the change of title, it gave an abstractness. And what is the story about? That's curiosity. And I think that is important. And it happened to many of the stories in this book. I had to change the title because they are giving away things on the content of it should be something abstract, create curiosity. And it happened. And I'm not a strict editor, okay? In fact, I was thinking, Aparna, why is Aparna saying this? She should be looking at it. She should, in fact, argue with me whether she wants that comma, whether she doesn't want it. She has to involve. That's all. Not strict. No, not me.
Thank you, Jayanti. It's always been a task to get Aparna to use her commas. And it's I actually would like to thank you for it, because finally she understood. See, there the comma would have been there. Why you need a comma? But anyways, there's writers column. I don't know.
That is Anulal. He will.
Okay.
He has to talk now. Maybe he
Right.
changed. He didn't change the name. Yeah.
Hey, Anu.
Hey, how are you, Natasha? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm going good. Thank you so much. And congratulations, Jayanti ji.
Thank you, Anulal. Did you hear Raghuram tell you about your story? Yes.
I've been listening. And I must especially thank him, because the other day I found an email in my mailbox and I'm writing a long response to that. It was from Sri Raghuram, Kanchi Raghuram, and truly touched by the gentleness and kindness with which he, wrought such a careful and inspiring, or what shall I say? I think a brotherly approach, in reviewing a work. And thank you so much for the kind words, sir. We'll get in touch, certainly. When I heard all the writers speak about their experiences with this anthology, I realized one very interesting thing. There is a common element in this particular anthology, just like the title suggests, adapting to changes. And it is not just a theme, I believe, when I heard all these writers. It is not just a theme to write their stories. It was also a personal experience that most of them were going through, either in their writing journey or in their lives. See, for example, somebody is moving houses, somebody is moving to another place, or so these personal changes were there in their lives too. In other words, these writers were going through some kind of changes, trying to adapt themselves, and this anthology came at the right time. For me also personally, I must confess that I too was going through, or have been going through, that sort of a change. And I'm truly grateful for Raghuram sir for reading my story. And I must acknowledge that I haven't had the time to read any of the stories in this anthology. I'd love to read them, but for the past few months, I've been busy with building a publishing house on my own. So it's like a tough job, and it takes a lot of time. So I'll definitely go through the other stories and all the stories, and I'll definitely write. Possibly, I think I'll be reviewing all of them. And another thing that I'd like to be thankful for is Jayanti ji's attempt to bring these writers together. I think it's very important, because the art of anthology, the genre of anthology, that has been losing its charm. In fact, in India, I don't think anthologies have ever gained any charm at all, because usually, these anthologies have been done by not so serious amateurish publishers or individuals who did it for probably a meager monetary benefit or short-term, purpose. But for a writer or for a reading community, I think anthologies play a major role, especially in a place like India, where different cultures coexist, different languages coexist, different behavioral patterns exist. I think that is very important when you look at Dancing Gold Flecks. And like one of you commented, so many ideas, so many writers, different writers from different regions came together. I think that's the power of an anthology. And in the hands of an editor like Jayanti Shankar, the art of the anthology is secure. That's what I believe, and that's evident in this particular book. And also, I was intending to write for the next anthology, but I couldn't do it because of these, busy schedules. And I also regret it. Definitely I do, but I couldn't. These are certain things that sometimes you have to make a choice, and you have to hold yourself. Don't do it. You have to do the other thing, because these are like changing times for me also personally. So I as I said, I'm in the process of building up my own publishing house. Usually, as an author, when you build a publishing house, you always look from the perspective of an author. What can you give the author? So in that process, it's quite difficult for me. It was difficult for me to write for the next anthology. That's why I decided not to submit for it, and I regret it truly. But anyway, I'm fortunate to at least find a place in Dancing Gold Flecks. And honestly, I thought that at first I'd be rejected by Jayanti because the theme was like not so common, especially in today's prominent Indian literature, where everybody is taking, an episode from some mythology and creating something out of it. Where I have decided to write about a very different background and a very different people, very different group of people, and speak about a very different politics also, in which I have woven my own, perspectives a little bit here and there. And fortunate that she found it interesting and decided to include it in the anthology. Quite fortunate. The art of the anthology, as I said, I think we should be, as serious writers, we should be looking at it. It's very difficult to bring in, serious, ongoing serious writers into anthologies like this. There are so many hurdles that you have to cross. But what Jayanti ji has done here, bringing all these people together, it's an amazing task. It's a major achievement for her, not just for her. I think for all of us. And we need to seriously talk about anthologies. We need to seriously write about anthologies. I must say that we should seriously, create such occasions where common people can listen to, serious writers, what they talk about anthologies, how we should look at these collective efforts where polyphony or the multiple voices, plurality is expressed in the most efficient and the most meaningful way, and where there are conflicts. But conflicts are resolved, or sometimes there is a space that we reach where certain conflicts are left unresolved, and in that unresolved state, certain conflicts do have a meaning. They create meaning. For example, in Varal Veta, there is a conflict that is unresolved. There are certain areas that you can't actually resolve it. The very unresolved state of that conflict is the crux of the story, and that is the human existence. Certain conflicts you can't, like for example, life and death, you can't solve that. You have to
agree to disagree. Agree to disagree.
Exactly. And I think this conflict will be there, and we have to take our choices. I think the barriers are never blurred, shouldn't be blurred. They are there, and you can always take a choice, and that is one of the things. And I'm grateful to Raghuram sir for pronouncing my story style, because I always wanted a person from Tamil Nadu to say that particular title, because Veta is a word that is a South Indian word in general, because Veta has a meaning in Tamil also and in Malayalam as well. Same meaning, hunting. Varal is like a fish, so it's like hunting for that fish. And the way he said it is like, that is something I wanted to hear, from a person from Tamil Nadu. And thank you so much for that blessing, sir. Thank you so much. And for each and every writer here, every person here is so special. Thank you so much for being a part of this anthology, and thank you so much for sharing your experiences with all of us. Jayanti ji, you have done a wonderful job once again. The art of the anthology, that's safe in your hands. Keep doing it, I should say. Keep doing it if you can. I know it's a very hard job. It's not a very profitable job. It's a thankless job, I must say. But because I've also done anthologies. I've recently done an anthology, Stories from the Soil, which a friend of mine did, but I published it. And this is a very thankless job. But the service that you do to literature, to the reading community, and to these authors in general, I think that's what counts. And in that sense, it is indeed a commendable effort. So once again, congratulations to Jayanti ji and all the writers. Thank you so much. Keep writing, everybody. All your stories are great. I can tell from the cover itself, this has a very classy feeling. And I'll take time to read all these stories. And if possible, I'll definitely share my reviews on social media and tag all of you guys. Yeah, so it's great to be part of a community. like-minded people.
Anulal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I am eager to read your review on each story, and thanks for taking time to attend this. I know how busy you are, and thank you. And Varalvetta, this title. First of all, I must tell you, I lived in Kerala for 2 years in Angamali. So I speak Malayalam. I used to read. I lost touch reading and all. So that's another story. Well, I wanted to change the title of this story. Anulal refused. And I said, okay, if that is what you want. Why I'm saying this is, I suggest, and if they don't agree, I will ask their side of the argument. And he said he wants that, that nativity, and because that it ends with that, and he wanted that. So let him have, I said. And another thing, Anulal, this the Dancing Gold Flecks was the volume that asked for submissions, unpublished, newly written. The new upcoming anthology. I told you also even in the email, it's published works is what I wanted. Published.
Finding, those works remember? Taking time. I remember. I do.
I do. Published
works,
was published best. Indeed. And yet it took time, It takes time. What took time? What do you mean? What do you mean you took time to understand?
No. Find, which, I was very possessive about my own work, so I didn't know which one to give.
Keep it. Nurture it. Thank you. Indeed. Another time.
Thank you so much.
Best wishes.
Indeed.
Thank you. I think I'm the only one left. Most of you have covered what I needed to say. So all I can say is thank you. Thank you, Jayanti, for everything, for all your hard work, all your vision, your consistency and your hard work to get this, to get this book out. So it is a wonderful book. It has, I've read two stories and they are wonderful. I'm sure all of them are amazing. I'm not going to talk much about my story. It's sort of a thriller, so there's not much that I can say. But yes, Jayanti did suggest title change, which I completely agree with her. So, and I think it made the title crisper, which is exactly what was needed for the story. So that's all I'm going to say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you. It's so nice to be a part of a community that gives and shares. So thank you so much again. Also, floor is yours.
Yeah, I thought Megha was here. Megha was supposed to be here. Padma, I saw her logged in, but maybe she left.
She's left, right?
She left, Jayanti. She messaged because it's very early in California, right? It's not even, it's like.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Megha hasn't come. And I thought she would come. It's okay. When it went very well. So you can wrap it up. Aparna can wrap it up on behalf of Book It Up. Thank you.
Natasha will do the needful. I mean, she's has been moderating so well. So the vote of thanks will also come from Natasha.
Okay. I've just recently joined Book It Up about a year back, and it's lovely. It's a lovely platform where we invite a lot of authors to come, and we want to talk to authors. We want to bring authors and readers on the same page. And we were so touched that Jayanti thought of us to launch the book. So it's a very humbling and honoring both at the same time. So thank you so much for that, Jayanti. And I would I wish we could have many more for the next session also. I think we should have this once again. And thank you everyone for joining in. Thank you everyone for taking the time out to come. It's very nice of all of you. And Jayanti, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you, Natasha. Next volume is hopefully I'm counting on Surabhi and Vidya and Shahnaaz Ahmed. She has contributed to that volume. She also has paid Zoom. I know about that. So these three people, they will launch the book, next volume, An Iron Fist in a Velvet Glove. And the volume title is Natasha's Story. I like that. So that is one. Another thing is I'm counting on Surabhi, Vidya and Shahnaaz for the next one. And they will conduct their timing. We will adjust to their timing because many of them, about 6 or 7 of them from that part of the world. So we will do that next time.
Absolutely.
So I hope, and that I think it is more number of contributors there, 27 contributors. I think 32 short stories in that volume, An Iron Fist in a Velvet Glove. They are best of the writers. So published pieces is what I collected. Come out very well. Let's meet again. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Natasha.
Bye.
Book it up. Vidya, Surabhi, whoever came, Shanti, Arun, Anulal.
Bye, everybody.
Subhashini,
Take care.
Kanchi, Raghuram, Sandeep, Arun,
Keep
Monica,
writing.
everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Natasha. You did a great job. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Natasha.
Thank you, Book It Up team.
Bye.
Thank you so much. So
Thank
awesome.
you. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Namaste.
Thanks, Kanchi, Raghuram. You did a good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I end the meeting, Jayanti, or is that you? Can I? Okay. Thank you. Next time. Sorry, I'm so sorry. I really didn't know about the Facebook. I didn't know how to do it. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Next
No
time
problem.
I know now how what to do. All
You know
right.
now?
Bye.
And now I know what to do.
Oh dear.
Thank you.